going on, guys? And welcome to the first episode of the second season of my show, Tips with T. Martin. So, for those of you guys who weren't around last year, the show Tips with T. Martin started off with the launch of Modern Warfare 3, and it was a weekly show over here on Machinima Respawn where I uploaded an episode with a bunch of in-depth tips and tricks, things that most people don't know about, and a lot of you guys really enjoyed it. You showed a lot of support, and it was a very, very successful series, so I'm hoping Season 2 can be just as big, if not bigger, than Season 1. Now, Season 2 is going to be all about Black Ops 2. As you guys know, a lot of people are super excited for it right now, but the game isn't out yet. We're about 5 weeks until launch, so why am I starting the new season so early? Well, it's because I played a lot of the game already. I would say I put in over 100 hours of multiplayer into Black Ops 2 already, so I know a lot of stuff that most people don't, and that's what I want to share with you guys so you guys can be ready for the game as soon as it launches and you can be ahead of all the other people that are going to be playing. So anyway, there are 5 weeks until launch, and there are 5 different tiers of weapons. So there's assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, shotguns, and snipers. So each week we're going to be covering a new tier of weapons because I've played with all of them already, and I'll let you guys know which are my favorite out of each tier, which ones I suggest, maybe a couple class setups and things like that, and you guys will know what the best weapons are before the game comes out so you can have that huge advantage as soon as you're able to play. So anyway, this week we're going to be taking a look at LMGs, probably the least popular class, and next week we'll move on to shotguns, then after that snipers, then SMGs, and then assault rifles. So anyway, starting off here, there are 4 LMGs that are going to be in this game, okay? There's the MK48, the QBB LSW, the LSAT, and then finally the hammer. And I've got the actual in-game stats that they have, those bars that they have underneath the guns where they show you the range, the mobility, the accuracy, that stuff. And I'll share these with you guys. They aren't always 100% accurate, but I figured we might as well go through those, and then I'll give you guys my personal opinions on which ones I think are best and which ones I think you guys should use. So anyway, starting off with the MK48. Your mobility is a 12 out of 20. The damage is a 15 out of 20, which is the highest out of all the LMGs. The range is a 15 out of 20, and the accuracy is a 15 out of 20. So this one is pretty good according to the boxes, but it may not be the best according to my personal opinion. You guys will find out in a second. But moving on to the next one, the QBB LSW. This one has a 12 mobility, an 11 damage, an 11 range, and a 12 accuracy. So as you can see, that damage is very, very low. It's 50% less, or nearly 50% less than the MK48. So this one's a pretty weak one. You guys will find out more about it in a second. Moving on to the third LMG that we've got, there's the LSAT, and this one has a 12 mobility, a 14 damage, a 14 range, and a 14 accuracy, so this is one of the better ones as well. And then finally there's the hammer, which has a 12 mobility, a 13 damage, a 12 range, and a 12 accuracy. So as you can see here, if we line them all up, it looks like that according to those box stats underneath the weapons and the creative class menus that Treyarch gives us, it looks like the MK48 would be the best weapon, the LSAT would be second best, the hammer would be third best, and the LSW would be the worst. But as you guys know, you can't trust those boxes. The weapons, they you have to judge by how they feel and look at their recoil and look at their fire rate and things like that. And that's where I think my personal opinion is going to be a little bit more valuable to you guys, because again, I played the game quite a bit. I played with all of these weapons, and I can tell you guys from personal experience which ones felt the best to me. So that's what we're going to go over now. So my absolute favorite LMG out of all of them is the LSAT. Why? Because it's got a medium fire rate, but it's got a very, very, very low recoil. It's very easy to manage. You can burst fire it really easily, and you can really stay on target, which is super, super important. And then on top of all that, it's also got the second highest damage out of all the LMGs. So overall, it's a very well-balanced LMG. I really do like it. It's my favorite. Now, my second favorite, surprisingly, is the hammer. It's not the MK48, which was the big beast, super powerful one. So I like the hammer because it's got a medium fire rate, it's got low recoil, and it reduces the fire rate as you hold down the trigger. So this is really, really cool. We've never seen anything like this in a Call of Duty. What happens is when you aim down sight and you start shooting, it'll start off at your medium fire rate, but then if you keep spamming, maybe you're not hitting somebody at long range, the fire rate will gradually start to slow down so it becomes more and more accurate, and you can get those shots on target and kill somebody, which is very, very, very useful. So the hammer is a good weapon in that regard. Now, my third favorite is the MK48, just because it's got a slower fire rate, so it doesn't really kill as fast, but it does have low recoil and a very high damage, the highest out of all the LMGs. And then finally, my least favorite one is the QBB LSW, because it's got a high fire rate, which can be good, but it's kind of not so good sometimes. It's also got a very high recoil, which is definitely not good, and it has the lowest damage out of all the LMGs. So this one's just kind of like the ugly duckling. This is the one that I think nobody's going to want to use, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll tune the weapons up before launch launch. But as of right now, this is the best advice I can give you guys. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to support it. Give it a like, give it a comment, give it whatever you think, and let me know what you guys thought. Let me know how I could improve.